Good morning, EMC family, and as we start this beautiful docile Saturday with this amazing sunrise peeking through these dark clouds, let us start with our serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Your will, not mine, be done. Amen. This morning we're in this beautiful location, and we're at the point where the Constitution River meets the Charles Duncan O'Neill Bridge, which lets it out into the 𝐴𝐻𝐴𝐺, into the beautiful west coast of Barbados. Imagine I'm saying that so early in the morning. I'm sure the Westies are happy, all like no. But we're in for a treat. And just in preparing this, I thought to myself, wow, this is going to be a mouthful this morning. Can I really do justice to all of this? But here goes. This beautiful building here has been renovated a couple of times, but this is the original location of the Barbados Railway. It started in this spot. The railway terminated and began at this spot, and this was the first location used. And so when the railway finished in 1937, 1938, this location was kept, and over the years it has been called the Fairchild Street Bus Stand. It was recently renamed in honor of Granville Williams, and it's now the Granville Williams Bus Terminal. But this is the original site of the starting of the train in Barbados that went all the way to Belle Plaine, St. Andrew. So in the last couple of years, the government has started a project called the Constitution Redevelopment Project, and it was to enhance and beautify this canal that we're walking alongside this morning, from its junction here at Charles Duncan O'Neill all the way to James Tudor roundabout. And it's because this body of water has been in this place since Barbados was discovered. It was always swamped, it was always some little river coming through, but this body of water has always been this way. And we have 3 or 4 rivers in the country, and this is one of the main ones. And this body of water collects from all the way up in the St. George Valley, comes all the way down, hits the Globe roundabout, as we call it, which is now called Sir James Tudor roundabout, and then flows and comes all this way down into Bridgetown, down into underneath the Charles Duncan O'Neill Bridge into the 𝐴𝐻𝐴𝐺. So I'll let the music. Good morning. So I know I couldn't compete against the morning gospel music of the vendor who's setting up for the day. So I let her gospel music fill the air for a little while until we get a little way past, and then I'll continue talking. So this beautiful, beautiful channel of water, the government thought it would be best to rechannel this. Good morning. And all along this area before, it was mosquitoes and all sorts of things that were really not the best. but I think that they have really done a beautiful, this is a beautiful, beautiful project, and it's a lovely scenic area. Again, finding another green space in Bridgetown that's different from the one that we saw by the Central Bank. You know, it lends itself to the beauty of the area and walking by. And then on the other side is the Fairchild Street Market, part of it, and there's all these little tiny kiosks for persons who ply their trades, from everything from sugar cakes to vegetables to clothing to hair supplies, shoes, whatever a small trader can think of selling is sold in this area. And if you know our history, we've always had a history of vendors and persons setting up, and the police kind of saying, why are they setting up here, and we need to kind of regularize this. So in enhancing this beautiful causeway, they decided to put down these beautiful kiosks for the vendors. As Nick always say, we show the true Barbados. So along the way, sadly, we're gonna see garbage and things like that, which is really not the best. But it's all part of the landscape. So right here, as you can see, all the morning vendors who are not part of the Fairchild Street are setting up, and this lady has vegetables, clothing coming up here, handbags. Ooh, that handbag looks lovely. I think I'll come back here. Yeah, I have a weakness for handbags. Yeah, that's kind of like a weekend handbag. And yes, this takes you into the bus terminal. But it is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area. For those who have lived here all their lives, this building that's marked Starcom Network used to be Rediffusion. And if you grew up in the 1950s and onward, your home had a Rediffusion. It was like a little brown box in the corner and had radio programs and classical music in the afternoons from 2 to 3 o'clock, and all sorts of information. And Rediffusion, and on Saturday mornings they would have Auntie Olga's party, and children would come on and sing and be part of it. So over the years, Rediffusion has moved on, and now it's called Starcom Network. 104.1, VOB, and other stations are part of this network, and it still operates. A lot of people have kept those Rediffusion boxes and kept them to them, kept them in their house as mementos because they're such beautiful instruments. And so part of this redevelopment project is this bridge that takes you from one area over to the other one, and we walk all alongside. Not beautiful? So in between there you get bits of Queen's Park. You can see the Central Bank in the distance, parts of Old Bridgetown, the clock of the Parliament buildings, the old Treasury building, the new Bridge Mall, the terminal, Republic Bank. Next to that is now Golden Square, where the old National Insurance building used to be. And then you can see, no, Nick keeps telling me there's an alligator in the canal. I hope not. I truly hope not. And the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. So in this spot, I'll tell you all about the Constitution River. This watercourse stretches from Bridgetown waterfront in the northeast direction to Waterford and the Bell. So it really is almost like a stream, and Waterford and the Bell coming all the way down into this watercourse. And this river acts as a channel for heavy rainfall from the higher interior regions of the island. Like how I said that before, you would find that rain that was coming down through the St. George Valley, this was the watercourse that led it all the way out into the Bridgetown area and out to the sea. And of course, it is called Constitution River because of all the English portions of our history of Barbados, and a lot of activities and developments I'm sure that happened in this area during that period reminded those first settlers of what was going on in England in the same area called Constitution Hill. So therefore this river was called Constitution River. And right there you will see the Constitution River Terminal. That's where all the minibuses come. If you're really adventurous and you're home, take a ride on a minibus. It's truly an amazing experience. I have not done it since my teenage years, and that was only yesterday. And it's, you know, quite an experience, but you should have that experience of having a minibus. It's a culture in itself, and it's an enjoyable experience. It's nice to see that they're surviving and they're back on track. They do provide a vital service to the country because the transport board can only cover so many routes and all that, and they tend to apply the quicker routes and turnaround routes, and this helps lots of people get to and from work, and you know, and get into Bridgetown and move on to their next destination. And they have it beautifully paved, lovely cobblestones, and it's really lovely done. So, you know, and I find that as a child, I remember this area always smelling full of mosquitoes and all that, but because it's channeled, because it's checked and regularized, that scent has gone with it. We just would like Bajans to be mindful of their garbage, and you know, if you've bought something, keep it and carry it home and throw it away instead of just dropping it anywhere, because all of that takes away from the beauty of the location. So we're coming up against 𝐴𝐴𝐶𝐶, and 𝐴𝐴𝐶𝐶 seems to be going under. I haven't been to 𝐴𝐴𝐶𝐶 in a while. Our new electric buses going by. But 𝐴𝐴𝐶𝐶 has been in this location as far back as I know myself. This building has recently been renovated again, and it's really a beautiful. So right here now, we're at the back of what is now called the Ministry of Education. But years ago, this area was called Queen's College, and it was established based on a recommendation of an Education Commission report which suggested that Barbados needed a first grade school for girls. So Queen's College was opened on January 29, 1883 with 33 female students. In 1981, it moved to be co-ed, and then in 1990, it relocated to its current location in Husbands. I'm proud to say that my mother is a Queen's College alumni, and so I have a son as well, and it was so sweet. A son and now a nephew as well who's gone to Queen's College. And one of the things I think that Queen's College does is that they still keep their records. So when my son Alex went into Queen's College, they said, if you have a relative who may have gone to school here, we think we still have a record of them, give them us their name. So he came home, checked. Mom said, I went to Queen's College. True enough, they still had her records at the school. And so it was lovely for her grandchildren, both my son and my nephew John Luke, to see her school record and see her academic record of Queen's College. They still had the records. So yeah, so this institution has been here since 1883. And the area that is on, it's called Constitution Hill. That particular area is called Constitution Hill. So hence the Constitution River, yes, it's all linked up. And the road that we are walking beside is called River Road, which needs no explanation. But what was happening before all of this was channelized and drainage and all of that was looked at, what would happen is that when we had heavy rainfall and this bank overflowed, you were guaranteed that River Road was flooded. You knew without being told. And in those days, there was no cell phones, no IGs, no nothing. You know, if we got massive rainfall, avoid the back of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital Road and this road. And even getting out of town, you had to come up Bay Street, because this road was guaranteed to be flooded because the banks would overflow. And then you were dealing with dirty, swampy water. The drain system was not anything like this. All sorts of things used to be going on. And in split second, sometimes it wasn't really massive heavy rainfall. It was just heavy rainfall for a period. And that was it. The water sometimes was up to this junction covered. You could not see where the sidewalks were or anything like that. And I do remember when I worked at CGI having to turn the other direction and go. It was just terrifying, because then the water flowed into the car park of CGI and we barely had enough time to move our cars. So, isn't it so beautiful? So, and the rushes that they have alongside. I'm still looking for this alligator that Nick talks about, but I'm hoping that he's gone to sleep or gone somewhere else. So, right next to Queen's College, in 1695, the 𝐷𝑹𝑠 Parish School, under the 1682 will of plantation owner Colonel Henry 𝐷𝑹𝑠, who also left £200, chiefly for the establishment and endowment of a free school or college to continue forever. And it started right here on Constitution Hill. Last week, I talked about the governor that was in place in 1819 and 1820, who sealed the Chase Vault. Do you remember that governor that I spoke to if you were with us last week? He was Stapleton Cotton, the first Viscount of Combermere, and who was the governor at the time. The school that was here, that started as 𝐷𝑹𝑠 Parish School, was moved to Waterford and renamed Combermere School in his honor, or as the Combermere alumni call it, the University of Waterford. And this is the spot in which Combermere first started in 1695. So isn't it important already? We see, because Barbados is now growing and building and developing, that everything is happening in the Bridgetown area. And this is why the government is trying to, we are a UNESCO heritage site for that reason, because our footprint has not changed. I've talked about that on different blogs, and this is further evidence of that. And this is why this whole area is being redeveloped, so that we can give Bridgetown a new life, a new energy. Good morning.
Good morning, dear.
Good morning. Thank
you.
You too. So we saw, I think that was January 21st or somewhere in that vicinity. I talked about the corner of Gemma's Lane and Bay Street, where we had the old General Hospital, which is now in ruins, and the eye hospital, which I've seen work has begun. And sadly, like most things in Barbados, once work has begun on something, up pops controversy. So I hope that controversy in relation to the old eye hospital will soon be rectified and the restoration of that building continue, as well as the old General Hospital. But of course, the old General Hospital had, outlived its use and needed to be modernized. So in 1963, 1964, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital was built on this site. This was the former residence of the Dean of the St. Michael's Cathedral. Remember, we went into the St. Michael's Cathedral the other morning? Well, this is where the rectory of the cathedral used to be. And so They moved the cathedral, and the cathedral went up in Welch's Terrace, up on a ridge, and this spot became the new hospital. It was officially opened on November 14th, 1964. The QEH is the country's primary acute care medical facility. It's also accredited as a teaching hospital and is affiliated with the University of the West Indies, Cape Hill campus. So the other day we went to Usain Bolt and I showed you all the development there. The hospital is also part of that with its teaching program for students through the Faculty of Medicine. And this is really the back of the hospital that we're looking at, that deals with things like the morgue and the cleaning of the staff and all that. The front of the hospital is on the other side on Martindale's Road, facing St. Michael's School. Right. So, can't get down in there, but just look at that this morning. You see where the vision is for this whole area? See how beautiful that is? It kind of gives you an idea of what the country looked like back in the 16 and 1700s, you know? And it's just so sweet, and the palm trees and all of that. It's just so serene. Even though we have the minibus traffic happening, it's just so beautiful. So the road that we're on now, which is at the back of the hospital, it's called John Beckles Drive, and it was named in honor of the life and works of John Beckles. He was born in 1873 and died in 1958. He was a black businessman, an active politician, and a great humanitarian. He served on the vestries of both Christchurch and St. Michael, but he never managed to win a seat in the House of Assembly. His major contribution was in the promotion of child welfare. So, yeah, there's a little building a little further on, and we will show you that building, where is a day nursery in his honor, and the day nursery system was part of his brainchild, along with Florence Dash, because you had more and more women going out to work. You did not have before where a granny and a mommy were home raising the children. More women now were getting involved in the workforce, and so children needed to be taken care of and nurtured during those hours. And so the daycares were set up. And so this daycare center right in here, that one is named in his honor, and this area is called the John Beckles Drive that we are driving along. The back of the hospital, that's what this area is called. And this beautiful area, they have all these interesting trees. The water is beautiful and ripples. They're outlets, so that as the water comes down, it kind of joins and easily is flowing down to Bridgetown. And for all those who have not seen a mango tree, this one is nicely laden. Not my favorite fruit. I'm allergic to mangoes, go figure. My mother had a wonderful time in her pregnancy with mangoes, and so the result is that I am not fond of it, but this street is so beautiful this morning. Huh?
Gorgeous.
It is. It is a gorgeous morning.
Absolutely beautiful.
And it's really, and the channel is so beautiful and serene, like it almost behaving itself. Huh? Yes. Isn't that beautiful?
Let's swim across the other side, Nicole.
Swim?
But there's some steps here we can go in and swim across.
Oh, that's what they're for? I thought they were there for fixing up.
No,
and
they're for you to go across this morning. They put them there, yes.
I remember that you told me about some alligator. So, no. It's quite all right. and along here too, they have benches. So the idea is that you could, you know, just sit and stop and relax. And the birds are singing sweetly. Oh, and let's look back again to the beautiful.
It would be great, wouldn't it be? Somebody to implement that.
Yes,
yeah.
Actually. And look at that. And that's another view of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. That's almost a side view. No climbing the mango tree, Cheryl. No, she won't be allowed to do that. With Cheryl's luck, most probably a policeman will stop. Here's a picture moment with our warrior. You see he's here. And the lovely Cheryl is here with us this morning. Thank you.
Photography, which is great.
Thank you. And Michael, who watches us on YouTube. Or he watches us on live. YouTube? No, he... So Michael has joined us this morning and he's taking some beautiful photographs, and you should see his sunsets. They're fantastic. So everybody is, well, the three of these are here with us, which is everybody.
Everybody.
Yes, everybody is here with us. Yes. But it is...
Swim across here now?
No, I'm not swimming. Jeez. This is just like push him in the river.
I know, right?
Listen, you have no idea how tempting that is. But isn't that beautiful? That is so beautiful. So I'm being a little lazy. We've walked. I need to catch my breath. And then, of course, what is the morning if you don't see me? Good morning. How are you? I'm here. Hi, everybody. So you knew I was building you up to something, right? And isn't that beautiful? Oh gosh, you see what I mean? The camera is working with me. You needed to see me twice, okay? Yes. So it really is a beautiful morning. It's serene. And I have to thank Kim for this walk, because she mentioned a word, and that's kind of what triggered. That's what kind of triggered the idea for taking this walk this morning. So thank you, Kim, for that.
Yeah,
so even
annoyance.
Yeah, we miss Kim. I've been pleading all morning for Miss J to be removed from house arrest, and it's not working.
No, she behaved bad yesterday, and she been put back into the house again.
Mary has taken her private Concorde to see Charles and Camilla get their crowns this morning. So hence why we are three with a lovely guest of Michael this morning.
We are four. Nicole, count please.
I said this is why we are three, along with our lovely guest Michael. Does that all add up to four? I don't understand. I know I didn't go to school during summer, so I did. So here we are, and this is the John Beckles daycare. Yes. And there is the front of the old Queen's College, along with the site of Combermere. I understand that one of the reasons Combermere got moved to Waterford was because it was sinking at this location. Buildings and foundations were sinking. And I think it had a lot to do with that. A lot of this is reclaimed and swamp area. So, of course, technology and engineering is not what it is today compared to those days. So hence why it was, it moved. But you can see how beautiful this location is, minus the garbage and the litter. I really wish Bajans would kind of cool it and be more responsible to the environment, because we have a beautiful country, and it doesn't take 2 seconds, like I say, to hold on to your snow cone cup or your bottle or whatever till you get home. same plastic bag that you bought it in, put that in your bag, and when you get home, you know, just throw it away instead of pitching it through the window. But that's enough on that. So we are now at the beautiful junction that takes you back to Queen's Park. And we are at those beautiful gates that were opened on January 10th, 909, with a specially designed key by Lady Gilbert Carter. There are 3 gates in the Queen's Park. I am taking, I think it's inside. Yes. So we have to cross. Busy Saturday morning in Bridgetown. It's all right. Thank you so much, Bajan Hospitality, letting me cross. And this is the route that the ZRs take from where we show you where the bandstand is. They take this route out of the bandstand area onto this road. And so we're standing at the gates that opened the park on June 10th, 1909, looking at the front of now what is called the 𝐴𝐶 complex, the Ministry of Education, Science, Technology and Vocational Training, a mouthful. But 𝐴𝐶 was a past student of Queen's College, and she was one of the first students of Queen's College to win a scholarship. I think it was in 1946, the Barbados Scholarship, and then she went on to be headmistress of Queen's College. And so this is now the front of the school, and you can see that building, the grayish building with the red roof. The windows give you an idea of the age, and look at that building, and that building has been there from the time the school has been opened, and you can almost see the crest of the Barbados crest, the coat of arms of the country, in the top middle of that building. But that's the old Queen's College site, now the 𝐴𝐶 complex, the home of the Ministry of Education. And so we walk through the beautiful gates of Queen's Park. There are 3 gates. This gate that we just walked through is called the Governor's Gate. There's a gate to the side which is called the Queen's Gate because it faces Queen's College, obviously. And then right down at the bottom of the gate, of the park, sorry, there's a side gate, a back gate called Nelson's Gate, because that gate used to look on to Lord Nelson when he stood at the top of Bridgetown. And so we're walking through beautiful Queen's Park. It's beautiful. Actually, the fountain is in use, and last time we were here for AgroFest, the fountain wasn't on. So it's not beautiful to see the fountain is on this morning, and the beautiful laid out grounds by Lady Gilbert Carter. All of this is still here. The main building that was called the King's Residence, and then later on Queen's House. It's called King's House, and then later Queen's House. And I think those things are self-explanatory, as we will see with the coronation this morning. Things change, the coat of arms change. Things that are called Queen's this is now called King's this. So the same thing applies to this beautiful area. But Queen's Park is so beautiful this morning. The landscaping in here is just amazing. Sunrise, the beautiful bougainvilleas and palms. Oh, Mary, I miss you this morning, because she would be giving me all the scientific names of all these plants. But here again, it shows you the vision of this project. Grass is beautiful. And it was said years ago that people used to little boats and dinghies and come all the way down this water course. So there it is, looking back to the back of Queen Elizabeth Hospital, underneath the bridge. And I think, you know, just like how you see in the summers in North America, how they have these little little power boats, I think you can sit and pedal with your legs. I think that would be great to do that on this water course. The grass is beautiful and spongy. Lovely, lovely. And look at the bougainvillea in bloom. All these different colors. Yeah, it is beautiful this morning. Yes. Yes.
Well chosen.
Yes. And just look, because you remember this ground, we were trying to navigate this ground a couple of months ago, trying to make sure that we could drink as much wine and Bailey cream from the girls at Nixie every Thursday, and tons of people on this ground, animals, da, 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 da. You cannot believe that this is the same ground. Just look at it, you know, and it's so beautiful this morning. Yes. And even these trees, because you can look at the bark and see how old these trees are. Good morning. Morning. So it's really nice to know that even in the development of this area, they have made sure that they've kept a lot of these trees. Because maybe some of them were planted by Lady Gilbert Carter herself. Just from how the barks look, you can tell that they have been here for quite some time. So it's lovely when we get it right, when we do development in such a way that we don't have to cut down everything, that we can trim. Eventually, of course, these trees will want removal, but hopefully we will plant, you know, a similar tree back in its space and continue, because you need these green spaces.
I like how they remove the huge wall that used to separate.
Yeah,
because you can look right through.
Yes.
It enhances it beautifully.
Yeah, this is really a lovely walk this morning.
Thanks, Nicole.
You're welcome. No, we have to say thank you to Kim.
Yeah.
Because
you,
Kim said that where did she say she lives? In Boston. Okay, Nick. You're having a memory blank.
I can't remember the name of the jail that she frequents.
Kim, don't mind him. What was the name of this place? Weymouth. And when she said, I live in Weymouth, Boston, and I didn't realize there was a Weymouth here, I said, that's it. That's our walk. So thank you, Kim. See, although you're back home for a little while, or back in Boston, because this is now Kim's home, you know, though you're there for a little while, your heart is still here. You're still with us walking this morning.
Is the parolee Simone on this morning?
I haven't seen Simone.
Thank goodness, that's good.
I don't know. If Simone is there, give a shout out. Give him some mobby. That will help with his brain retention. Okay. Ah, that's what it is.
Yeah, for those small boats.
See, so you remember I was just saying, you know, those little boats or those little, you know, overseas you see them with the two little that you can sit. You can sit and pedal. Those little power boats that two people can sit and pedal. That would be lovely here. So Nick is showing me that they have docking facilities that you could attach your little dinghy and row up and down. So I'm hoping that all of that will come to pass. But it is beautiful to see this whole area enhanced, the walls taken down, and it really has become a beautiful green space. Of course, here we are at the back of Harrison College. And remember I talked about Harrison College when we went to St. Michael's Cathedral and the Central Bank and showed the first location where they started in 1733. So this is the home of Harrison College, and it's interesting that we have now, we've had 3 schools in this area. Queen's College would have been on Constitution Hill with Combermere next to it, and Harrison College in this location. And it told you a lot about the country at the time. It was more urbanized, so everything was kind of centrally located until we started to spread out to the environs. And for me, this is a third joy, because every morning I take this route to work along this street that follows this path that I'm walking on. So it's lovely. It's just lovely to actually finally, I used to look across and see people walking up and down on this path that we're on this morning. I think, I would love to do that. But of course, at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm hustling to get to my desk, and on evenings, I'm just like hustling to get back home. So it's lovely that on a docile Saturday, I'm finally taking this walk.
Do you want to see Pride of Barbados?
Oh, yes.
Here we go.
There's the Pride of Barbados.
Hello.
I knew he was going to do that. I just knew it. I just knew you were going to do that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. The Pride of Barbados in full bloom.
Yeah, I was smiling, so yeah, I was in full bloom for sure.
Okay, yeah, all right. And
this is for you,
I'm not touching it. Oh, that's for me?
Yeah, that's
oh,
for you.
thank you. Oh, that's so beautiful. And you can see that they're putting in fruit trees along this path. So as these grow up, it's going to make here even more interesting. So isn't that beautiful?
Stunning.
Yes.
Really stunning.
It is. Right there, the buildings in purple and cream, if you're wondering, that is ICBL. That was the home of the Lynch's School and Louis Lynch. And so that was the school there years ago. It's now ICBL. And in front of that is Weymouth, where that's the police's sports center. And this area is always used for drills for when they're practicing. Morning as well. Queuing community, flea markets, get-togethers, all sorts of things happen. And cricket. Yeah, because cricket is there, and I believe cricket used to be on this field too. And then my apologies. Harrison College has their field in the back, and then we have the bus terminal. The main bus terminal is at Weymouth, and all the buses start from there, and then there are depots, one in the north and one in St. Philip as well. So this is so beautiful a walk. So now we're coming up to,
absolutely gorgeous.
Yes, the James Tudor roundabout. And Sir James Cameron Tudor was a politician and diplomat, a founding member of the DLP. He was educated at Harrison College and Oxford, and became the first black person elected president of Oxford Union. And he came back and made a serious contribution to his country. He taught at Combermere as well before he retired. And he really was a forward-thinking person and was one of those pillars of the DLP who helped the late Earl Walton Barrow carry the country forward when they won the government and, take us through independence. Yes. So this roundabout is named in his honor. And this really is a beautiful walk this morning, actually. Yes. And actually, this roundabout too, in the 1970s, sadly, was the site of a bad flood where some persons drowned. Yep. And again, this told you the volume of water. And as we developed, we did not take into account the natural water course of what was happening in the country. So it's wonderful to see now. Now this has all been channelized properly. And we can say that since we've had heavy rains, we have not had any flooding in this area. So I haven't been saying keep your darker meters on, but look at that. It's just beautiful.
Ignore the right-hand side of the screen. Just look in the center.
But it's almost to say, I think Mother Nature always works with us, and they knew we were coming out this morning, and everybody's like behaving and singing and raising their hands and saying, look at us, look at us. So it's not just beautiful, because we might have done this another Saturday and you think, oh my goodness, but the sun rays are exactly the right angle on the water. The reflections are beautiful. The peace and serenity of this area is just amazing. And even though there's traffic just a stone's throw on the other side, you really cannot feel it in this spot. And last but not least, here we are at the Globe Cinema. The blue building, blue and light blue, dark blue building. It's not dark blue, it's more like a light blue and a sky blue. So, I know it's definitely not pink. So the Globe Cinema opened its doors on the 2nd of December 1949 and closed on December 31st, 2011. It is the sister company or sister location to the Globe Drive-In. It was owned by the same family, the Ali family, and then they sold this location because, of course, as DVDs and home entertainment came in, persons were not coming out to the cinema as it was, and this location sadly started to dwindle. And then now we have Lime Grove and Olympus, so it really would have been lovely if they could have kept this. But this building is just so beautiful. And not only was it just a cinema, it held a lot of shows. The late Carolyn Leacock, Jackie Opal, Joe Tudor, the Mighty Gabby, the Mighty Sparrow had shows here. And to go to a show at the Globe was, you know, the finest, because Queen's Park could only hold so much and this could hold more. I cannot remember exactly what the seating capacity was, but I remember as being a student at school, and they were holding a movie about Gandhi, and they brought students down here to watch, and it was nearly all of 4th and 5th form of seniors coming down to see this movie. But another historic landmark, I'm sure many persons in the 50s and 60s had dates up in the balcony holding their hands, or down in the pit, or in the regular seats. Many a person met on these steps and, you know, had their first kiss and greeted each other and started lifelong relationships and families. So the Globe is also part of this whole infrastructure, and we must applaud the government and the person who came up with this whole constitutional redevelopment project, because it has enhanced the area. And that's what we want in Barbados, that we want what was old given a new facelift and made more beautiful. Look at that view, everybody. Isn't that just stunning? That is just beautiful.
My question to you is, how come we didn't say look at that view just now when you were focused on me? What is your problem this morning? You want to go on the house arrest?
No,
you know?
I can't go on house arrest. I know I can't go on house arrest. Only Miss J has those that lock system. Okay. And so we're also competing with the traffic. So he wants to put me on a house arrest, but you guys know that can't happen. You know, that can't happen. Because then who does he give a hard time to coming up to on Saturday to do docile walk? And no, he can't. He just can't. I am smiling to myself.
Yeah, you're also smiling.
Yes. So you see this? Right, yes. Yes. So that's why I say, you see this causeway here? This now will run all the way back, as Nick is telling me, back to the prison, right back up to the bell. And so this area, when the water comes down, it's like a gush. And over the years, we have known this same wall to be totally covered in water. Imagine water so deep that you cannot see the edge of this wall or that bridge on the other side, that the whole Globe roundabout. And it's amazing how, without cell phones or technology, everybody knew in tutus the Globe roundabout is impassable. That word was spread, and tutus, you knew to stay away from this area. But just imagine the depth of water in this area. And in the 1970s, a very bad flood took lives of some persons in this area because they just underestimated the water and the movement of the water. Because water is accustomed moving and coming in a direction. I always say that no matter how much C.O. Williams will move the earth to please, if water is accustomed coming one location 300 years, you better believe it's going to find a way to keep coming this direction. So it is a stroke of genius, and we applaud the Barbados government for this redevelopment. This is high kudos and praise. And look at that little park area to sit, which is really important. You must have these green spaces in urban areas where people can just come and sit and relax. We can sit here and watch traffic. And I know it seems like, oh Lord, that's town, but you know what? Park your car and find a spot around here to park your car and come and sit here. And we have found that every time we do these walks, especially in Bridgetown, people walk by and say, good morning, how are you doing? Greeting people. So, you know, these spaces are needed. These spaces are needed. So look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It is. It's completely spectacular this morning. Yeah, in Bridgetown. And this is a good walk too, you know, because that path you can use as a walking exercise path. We saw 1 or 2 people who were like dressed like if they were actually exercising, walking. And all around here, for those who live in this area, this is a lovely green space to stop, reflect, and enjoy. COVID has taught us to slow down, and I think we need to keep doing that. Find time to work, find time to play, and find time to enjoy life. Because sadly, it goes by too quickly. So, somebody's giving Nicholas the crown today. Oh, you saw his movement with the Pride of Barbados. Just priceless. Just totally priceless. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this walk this morning. My dear Kim, take a bow. You inspired me this morning. And wow, it was a mouthful of history. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you love what you saw. And that when you're home, you will come out and be part of it. As usual, to my lovely docile crew who's going to wave just now. Say goodbye, everybody. Bye. Well trained as always. To the beautiful, beautiful Bridgetown and its environs. Yes, and of course,
your instructorness and also your layeredness has increased.
Oh my goodness, I am just, you know, understand? And yes, to me. Good morning, everybody. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Brilliant job, Nicole.
My Pride of Barbados. Yes.
Oh, your
yes,
Pride of Barbados. Sorry, I missed my cue. Sorry. Yeah.
Priceless. It is so priceless. Yes, it was a happy Saturday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Relax, enjoy yourself. Nick has surprises for you on Sunday. Wherever we're taking those outside. I learned from the best, Nick. And so let me give myself a wide angle. Yes, that I'm just being really bad this morning. But Nick has surprises for you tomorrow, where we're walking, where he is hanging out on Sunday. And then on Monday morning, I think we have another surprise for you guys. So look out for us. We're just enjoying EMC life and doing things differently. And we hope that you enjoy the journey. We thank you so much for coming this morning. You had a choice. Either be with Charles and Camilla or be with Nicole. So thank you for being with Nicole this morning. Nicole.
Cheese on red.
Yes,
Nick.
Everything.
Okay.
Cheryl. And Mike. Yes. So you had a choice this morning. So you're here with us. Bye. See you later. Oh, no, Michael can't hide. See how me? I'm like, yes. On the ball this morning. On the ball. Yes. So everybody, have a wonderful day. Nick is complaining I am hogging the camera, but from me to you guys, have a wonderful day. Take care. Blessings, hugs, love, and we'll see you either tomorrow or Monday or next week. Enjoy your weekends and get plenty of rest. I will leave you with this beautiful view. Well, me first, and then I know I'm really enjoying this camera time, and then the beautiful view of the canal. Have a wonderful day, everybody.